All right, Shalom. First thing and foremost, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Abanawa, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Hakadash. Double honors and much respect to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to you, hopefully elect. We are your fellow servants from the Great Millstone Orlando camp, joined by our honorable guests from GMS Charlotte camp. With the spirit, power, grace, and mercy of Yahweh Shemal Shah, we out here another day in, day out, prophesy the downfall, destruction of this wicked kingdom, known as America. But to tell you Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians to repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. And get into the topic of the sermon, prophecy is no longer a conspiracy. So,
Habakkuk chapter 1 and verse 5. Behold ye among the heathen, and regard and wonder marvelously. For I will work a work in your days, which ye will not believe, though it be told you. There's Habakkuk 1 and 5. Behold ye among the heathen, and regard and wonder marvelously. For I will work a work in your days, which you will not believe, though it be told you.
And that work being prophecy, all right? The prophecy goes into to say before, you see, and that displays the power of Yahweh Shemal Shah. He says what he's going to do. He declares what he's going to do before he does it. And now we're in the time where these things, faster now more than ever, they're being fulfilled. And it's to the point where, hey, everyone, their grandmama, auntie, newborn baby, everyone's speaking about prophecy. Prophecy is a hot topic in everyone's household. So it's inevitable. You can't get around prophecy.
This is Ezekiel 12 and verse 21. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, what is that proverb that ye have in the land of Israel? Saying, the days are prolonged, and every vision faileth. Tell them therefore, thus saith the Lord of power, I will make this proverb to cease, and they shall no more use it as a proverb in Israel. But say unto them, the days are at hand, and the effect of every vision. But there shall be no more any vain vision, no flattering divination in the house of Israel. For I am the Lord, I will speak, and the word that I shall speak shall come to pass. And it shall no longer be prolonged, for in your days, O rebellious house, will I say the word and will perform it, saith the Lord of power. You know, just like the brother's going into it, you know, the title of the sermon. Prophecy is no longer a conspiracy. We're living these things out in our days. Thus saith the Lord. You know, you got it, bro. But we living out prophecy right now. You know that what the Lord say in Matthew the 24th chapter. He gave signs of the end of his second return. He said there will be wars and rumors of wars. He said there will be famine. He said there will be pestilence. He said the love of many will wax cold. These are all things that we're starting to experience in the earth. This is no longer speculation. People can no longer speculate whether or not famine is according to the Bible, is according to prophecy. Because 41 million Americans are getting ready to face or possibly facing famine due to these SNAP benefits being cut off. So it's no longer speculation anymore. Famine is actually here. It's no longer speculation regarding the mark of the beast, because the infrastructure is being set in place right before our eyes. We're seeing the pushing of these digital IDs. CBDCs are starting to rear their head up within the banking world. You see the push for AI data collection companies, man. All of these systems are systems for the mark of the beast to be implemented. So this is no longer speculation or conspiracy. This is an actual reality. People are actually living these things out.
Well, it actually is a conspiracy, but it's a conspiracy fact. Because conspiring is just a plot between two more people to do something they won't be seeing. What we've been saying from the beginning about how these elites, these Edomites, these so-called white people, the bankers, how they've been setting up a plan from the beginning of how they're going to enslave the world. So you see all these different, documentaries, the apostles were talking about, like the capitalist conspiracy, the money masters, and different ones that show you John Todd and I forgot the other dude's name, going to the courts and all that shit. Jordan Maxwell. These things that these people are saying, all right, back then people could call people crazy because they weren't actually seeing things being put in motion. But everything that those guys talked about in the 90s, early 2000s going forward, all these things are coming to pass now, showing you that, like you said, the MOTV infrastructure is being put in place, and you're seeing people having dreams about, how terrible it's going to be out here, all right? Having dreams of nuclear destruction. That shows you the Lord is pouring out his spirit on the earth, and it started with the man of the Lord having the breath put back in him and speaking. I got to please about the shot. Joel chapter 2, verse 28. And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, your old men shall dream dreams, your young men shall see visions, and also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit. And that's what we're seeing. Now everybody's talking about prophecy. Everybody is beginning to realize what the Hebrew Israelite has been saying is true. You know, you can't deny, like the brother was saying, it's no longer speculation, it's fact. That's why people are tuning their ears more and more to the truth. And even if it's still mockery, it's still in jest because they understand what we're saying is true, but you know, they got laugh to keep from crying, right? They know exactly what we're saying is fact, but they don't want to accept it because they're stuck in their bubble, you know?
Right, and it hasn't touched them personally.
Exactly.
So they feel like they're distant from the circumcision. But the Lord is changing that. Because at a certain point, you think about how this truth has evolved. There was a point where the only time you heard about an RFID microchip was in a Demolition Man movie, when our apostles were speaking like that. And now it's a normal thing to have these conversations about chips, cashless societies, and nuclear weapons. That's common speech to people. But it's like frogs in boiling water. They don't realize it's getting hotter until it touches them personally. By that time, it's too late.
There's people in Babylon right now walking around with chips, man. Like there's a video I saved on TikTok. I've been meaning to do a video on it, but Jake talking about how he met this woman from Sweden and said that she ain't had the chip in it. But you know, Sweden was like one of the first countries that was with that. Right? They had chip parties on it. So they've been ahead of the curve as far as this agenda. But she was telling Jake, like, yo, you gonna have to get this shit at some point too. He was like, I ain't put no chip in me. You know, y'all can say what you want, but I'm not doing that. But that's what he said. Everybody can say that when the shit's still going. Exactly. But we have a better advantage over you people out here because we have the Holy Spirit. Therefore, we have a backing that when shit, you know, pushes on us, we're back to the corner. We know that we got a spirit, the spirit of the Heavenly Father and His Son. We can call upon that's going to deliver us. But you people out here that don't got no foundation, no backing. Hey, that house that you built up was a house built upon sand, it's going to fall.
It wasn't built on a sure foundation. The hope of everybody else outside of the elect is grounded in Babylon the Great, which is a broken reed. So they're going to take that chip out of desperation. But those who have their hope founded and grounded as an anchor in Yahweh Shah, they understand that when these things happen, the Lord's going to step in. We may not know the details, but we believe the Lord will do that through the Spirit of power of Yahweh Shah, and He will do that for the elect. Lord will be a part of that number.
So finishing out in Joel 2:30, and I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire, and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of the Lord. And one of the scriptures that tells you, Jeremiah the 10th chapter, to be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. And the Lord's been showing the different eclipses, different blood moons, you know, strawberry moons and whatnot, different signs like you see them, right? For example, you got they call it the 3-eye atlas, you know, all these different chariot sightings out there. They're letting it be known that they know that shit is about to, you know, go. These Edomites, they understand prophecy, the ones that's in the know, you know. So they understand that Yahweh Shah's coming back. That's why the 3-eye atlas talk is getting more and more intense, because they have to jump on the narrative of the chariots before they really get out there and the common people know those are actually our brothers in those ships.
Right? And you got outlets like Tucker Cross. He's bringing on people that are saying, look, these ain't aliens. These are interdimensional, and they got government people saying this.
Yeah.
That is more closely related to the scriptures than some little green men. But then you open up the wormhole, because now this truth is out there. Right. So now you got to say, all right, well, if the chariots are real, then who are the people of the Lord? Those chariots are coming for them. Beginning with the elect.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and verse 5. It says, for like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. And that word manifest goes into the Latin word manus, which means the hand, you know. So ultimately, you know, the end is essentially touching, you know, everybody, you know, and it's easily grasped, you know, because essentially the effects of prophecy are touching everybody on the planet Earth.
Hey, real quick, this is the Oxford Dictionary definition of manifest. Clear or obvious to the eye or mind. You got it, right? That's what's happening. It's being made clear to everybody.
Right.
That what they thought was conspiracy theory is actually a true conspiracy.
Right.
Hey, real quick. Hey, read that again. Can't use the word forecast up. Read that up. The word.
This is the definition of manifest from Oxford Languages. It says clear or obvious to the eye or mind.
Right. I'll read out real quick. Get 2 Ezra 6 and 20. Read that. Hey, the Lord making it plain, man. He's making it plain. Hey, to everybody, he's making it plain. Read that.
But it's beautiful because in Habakkuk, the first chapter, what did the Lord say?
Right.
That you would not believe what he told you. So the Lord, it had to be extravagant. And think about the power of what's happening right now. Our apostles in the 80s spoke of what we're living now. Think about the power of how this truth, just in our lifetime, we've been able to witness what people looked at as crazy, so now they have to deal with the reality of it. That's powerful, man.
Hey, we were talking about last night, the apostles, before they came on YouTube, right, they got fruit. More fruit came, but the prophecy wasn't happening. But the fruit was coming in. Now, like bro just said, we living in the era of prophecy. Read that. Take it.
2 Ezra 6 and 20. But when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished,
Which we see it happening. Go ahead.
then will I show these tokens. The books shall be opened before the firmament,
And the token is the prophecy. Go ahead.
and they shall see all together.
Hey, everybody see it, but the people say, oh man, that's crazy that happening. Man, that's crazy what's going on over there in Israel. Oh, that's crazy what happened in Ukraine. Oh man, they see the, dang, that's crazy.
They just seen it as random.
Yeah, but they see it. Read, you get the word forecast?
Definition of forecast online. Predict or estimate a future event or trend.
Predict or estimate future event. Read the similar words.
Predict.
Predict.
Prophesy.
Prophesy. Go ahead.
Prognosticate.
Prognosticate. Hey, the real prognosticator. The Lord to Isaiah and Esau in Isaiah 47. Where your monthly prognosticators at? Where the real prognosticators are here. Go ahead.
Divine. Foretell.
Foretell. Divine. Go ahead.
Foresee.
Foresee. And it tell you when you go that word foresee. When you go Wisdom Solomon 8, it tell you she give us the wisdom to foresee signs, events, and wonders, man. That was it.
Forewarn.
Forewarn. The Lord sent his men. The Lord sent the prophets out before he sent the destruction. You got it.
Okay,
That was it. I got it.
This is Sirach 36 and 14. It says, fill Zion with thy unspeakable oracles, and thy people with thy glory. Now, you were saying earlier about how pretty much the things that we're speaking about, this is the unseen to the world, but it's happening, they just can't see it. But, and it says, fill Zion with thy unspeakable oracles. When you go into that word oracle, according to Edamon, it says a message from a God expressed by divine inspiration through a priest or priestess. It says, in answer to a human inquiry, usually respecting some future event.
See, hey, real quick, to go to that, right? Get Revelation 19 and 10, that word testimony.
Oh, yep.
Right? Because it was only given to the prophet. The secret. You got it.
And this is proving something very important, that the spirit transcends the flesh.
Exactly.
Because the Lord is showing that whatever physical power you have is nothing compared to the spirit. And it's being seen that the lowest class of the greatest empire the world has ever seen is confounding it. In real time, the Lord is destroying this society brick by brick, starting with the knowledge. Because a kingdom is founded on the mentality. The mentality of this place was established on lies. So now the truth is entered the realm, and you're finding out that truth is more powerful than lies and violence and strength. The spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah trumps all, that no man can boast. You know, because even what our apostles know, what we know, is all through the grace and mercy of Yahweh Shema Shah.
So the word for testimony of Revelation 19 and 20, or 19 and 10, it says, testifying, the office committed to the prophets of testifying concerning future events.
See, the office committed to the prophets, man. And the Lord said he revealed his secret to the servants of the prophets. So that's it, you got it.
Yeah, because like you're saying, here it is, the lowest of the low in this society is literally telling you everything that's about to happen, and the world is witnessing. We was telling the world, start with the apostles, how there's going to be an event before 2020 that was going to happen, that was going to shut the world down. nobody's taking no attention. And then what happened? When that shit happened, what was everybody doing when they were in the lockdown in their house? Everybody's tuning into the Israelites watching to see what we were talking about because they thought that was the end. And then when outside began to open back up, it put the truth back on the back, and it's like, it ain't it yet, you know? But what we're seeing now is that's open to see everybody starting to realize, yo, they talking about an RFID chip. Now look, that's in everybody. That Trump's whole cabinet is about to bring that shit in. You see his whole cabinet is dealing with AI, technocrat, you know, and these main niggas are the ones that's being used to set all this up. Get people that he did for free.
So before they can mandate it, they got to set up the infrastructure. They need to set up the plumbing first.
Exactly. And what started that with dope? When Trump brought Elon in, that wasn't to go find where the money. It was to get everybody's digital footprint. They can have that on file. So now we're going forward. We're seeing AI take off, Sora, open AI, and everything change. Getting people used to it. All right. You see it's AI on every app you got on your phone now. So every app you use your life. Because now it's getting you conditioned because that's about to be your master in the future.
Exactly. That's the game plan. The so-called white man is going to set up a digital infrastructure, and AI is going to be the taskmaster. And it's going to, in real time, deduct from your bank account. You jaywalk. You speed past a meter. Your money, you speak against this system. You're done. It's like China and the social credit system. If you speak against China, they had a documentary where this journalist was speaking against the Chinese government, and he can't even leave a 5-mile radius now. He can't buy a plane ticket. He can't buy a train ticket. He's lucky he can buy groceries. Because they got that kind of power.
And you just had a statement by Larry Fink, who's the CEO of Blackwater, who said that now the time for tokenization is here. You know, they're starting to tokenize all the assets of America, chiefly the monetary system. And what's getting ready to happen is he's looking forward to issuing in a new digital age, starting with the digital ID. And eventually, the monetary system is going to go to a digital form of currency, and that currency is going to be dictated by the government. And he was saying, I got the title of the article right here. He said, this is a statement from Larry Fink. He said, we're at the beginning of the tokenization of all assets. Now he's promoting these digital IDs. He says, later on, he says,
I can add this report that you're talking about the tokenization. So if you look up kind of what that is, it says tokenism of the etymon. It says in the societal integration, the word token says integration. So they're bringing everything into that view system, so they have eyes on everything. You know, the AI is the Lord plug, Esau's angel. So they're gonna have eyes on everything that you're able to do, man.
Yeah, that's why they call it the internet, bro. It's a spider with 8 legs. One head, many arms. That's what it is. And they tried us in that net when the first time they started opening it up in 89, 88. Y'all on point. Y'all the first Israelite that comes to talk about this.
The scripture said it first.
That's a tribute to our apostles. Our apostles hit the ground running, and it was always about prophecy. It was always about what we live in now. They were the seriousness of it now. They had that in the 80s when it was on Demolition Man, and people was laughing and pointing, and they sci-fi creatures, and they laughing, making jokes. Shit ain't funny now. That's why a lot of judgment's gonna happen, because a lot of Jakes thought this was a game back in the 80s, 90s. The Drewskis of the world that's making mockery. This ain't a game.
Two movies. Demolition Man and Johnny New Money.
Alright, I always forget about that.
Yeah, Johnny New Money. Keanu Reeves, he had that seat here, man.
Esau was showing you all that shit back then. Lawnmower Man.
Yeah.
With the virtual reality and being so tapped into a video game, you just lock out the world. That's why the video games getting better. Because Esau mindset is like, you're not gonna own shit. You're not gonna be able to go nowhere, but I'm gonna give you a virtual world that you can explore.
That's better.
I see the commercial today. They got the Black Ops 7 now. They were like, hey, get you some Little Caesars, and they help you get some vouchers, so you can play you got some benefits with a DLC pack to the damn Black Ops 7, man. All you gotta do come to Little Caesars and a PlayStation and pizza.
I ain't trying to show you, because like you said, that integration is happening it's getting you in the system in multiple ways. It's gradually introducing you to VR. But VR really started coming out a few years ago. I don't know if y'all tried that. That shit tricky. I think it's something, bro. It's like, it's like, yo, you literally in a different world, bro. Yeah, that's like that movie, Ready Player One.
Yeah.
It's like you said, niggas will enjoy that shit so much that you don't need in real life.
They're gonna let Esau do whatever you want to do. They're gonna just to stay in the system, stay in the grid. You can continue playing GTA 6 or 7. Lord willing, when you get that far.
And you see the conditioning though, how they get you. Hey, NBA 2K, my player. You got the little the Madden version of it. You got all these RPG games. So as soon as you ain't gonna even make a play, you want the player's gonna be you.
Right.
You know, you gonna have to pay for the add-ons and everything else like you see now, man.
You got Ryan Reynolds.
Oh yeah. That's what you got.
Yeah.
Free guy.
Free guy, yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Now to land back Ricalia's point, this is from AI Overview. It says, tokenizing an asset means creating a digital token on a blockchain that represents a real world or financial asset, converting ownership rights into a tradable digital form.
And that all ties into the social credit system. Because over there in China, like what Nahali was explaining, what happens is if you have a low social credit score, you're basically ostracized from that society.
Yeah.
So basically, simple luxuries or different amenities that normal people in that society receive, you've been ostracized from. You can't live in certain areas. You can't have certain jobs. You don't have access to certain educational programs, and so on and so forth. And that's the same thing that's migrating over here to America. And he made that statement. And Blackwater is one of the top companies in the world when it comes to Ford and Wiggins. And there's now the CEO, Larry Fink, is talking about, he's promoting digital IDs in the form of being able, I got the excerpt from the paragraph, it says, to the new monetary financial system, quietly transforming the world, digitalizing all assets and money in the form of a digital, trackable, traceable, permission token traded on the blockchain ledger. So what they plan on doing is making this digital currency, all right, tying it to your data, tying it to your social credit, your ID, who you are, and then basically saying, hey, if you speak about this government, now you on the chopping block. Hey, if you're speaking against America, you got a testimony against Babylon, get his ass fuck out of here. You know, you speaking about whatever, get him out of here. That's the type of infrastructure that's being set up right now.
This is Revelation chapter 13 and verse 15. It says that he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, and the image of the beast shall both speak, because that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
Right. And those who don't want to worship the image of the beast are going to be ostracized. They're going to be killed in this up-and-coming society. Because what Esau has is engineering is his Godhead in the planet Earth. That's his whole mentality. And it lays it out in 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter. He wants to be as God. And how is he going about to accomplish that? By technology. All right, in order to be omnipotent in his earthly vessel, omnipotent and omnipresent, he's going to put that chip out. So he can be able to track you. Now he has power over you with what you buy, what you sell, what you do. That makes him omnipotent and omnipresent in a sense. And that's what he's trying to accomplish. And if you don't want to get down with that, you're going to be killed.
Yeah. That's going to start with you being kicked out of the society.
That's something for that, real quick. So the Greek word for kill in that verse is apokteno, and it says to kill in any way, whatever. Now when you go to the root word, it's G575, apo, it says of separation.
Yeah. You're going to be separated from that society. Like Meek Mill had made a point when he was talking about, you know, pretty much they want to hurt you, they hit your bank. That's it, you know? So think about it, if they hit your bank account, that's your livelihood. You can't pay your bills, you can't do nothing, you can't buy society. So if you truly say that you're against this system, then that means that you're not going to take that chip, which means you're not going to be able to participate in Esau's good work. That's why the separation now is being made in the spirit of the true believers and those that fake it. Because the true believers, we're going to have to truly walk on faith to make sure that we're not going to bend. Because you're going to be trying to see how long you go without eating. Whether the Lord make that 2 days or however long, you know. You guys worry about your family being taken care of with you. All that, like, but that's when the carnal man gets put in the backseat and the spiritual man takes the prerogative.
That's the second wind.
Yeah.
That's what the elect have. They have a second wind. So when shit hits the fan, of course, your flesh is going to have this little anxiety, but then the spirit that you've been brought up in and trained in the spirit with all of your own personal ups and downs, you've been forced to lean on the Lord all the way up until this moment. So when it happens, you have a second wind to lean on, whereas everybody else, they put their hope in this place. So when this place falls, their confidence falls with it.
And that's why the Lord said in Isaiah 33 that wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of our time. And the fear of the Lord is our treasure. Coming into these days, the fear of the Lord is a treasure. Many people don't have the fear of the Lord. They have the fear of the circumstances. But when it comes to the actual fear of the Lord who's bringing the torment, they don't have that. They don't have that fear, which is why they're going to perish. They don't have the wisdom and knowledge to keep them stable. The elder brother mentioned earlier about how we're building our house on a solid foundation. You know, when the winds begin to beat, the floods come, we have that stability of faith, of wisdom and understanding to get us through these times. Just like in 2020, brothers lost jobs, brothers lost opportunities, women, whatever it may be. Right, but the wisdom and knowledge of Yahweh and faith kept brothers afloat. They kept them upright. Now, the same thing is going to happen in these upcoming days. So wisdom and knowledge is going to be paramount. Because the fear of the unknown creates anxiety. Anxiety breeds rash decisions. And a lot of people are going to make a rash decision to take that digital move.
That is going to be implemented through your job. Most of the world is going to find out about this mark through their employees. Okay? And that's where, you know, that conformity will begin. Yeah, and it's already beginning to a certain degree with social media policy. So a lot of jobs, you may not even have noticed what you signed, but a lot of these jobs are saying, look, you got to sign a social media agreement which says that you don't say anything negative on the internet. Even if it's on your own personal device, you can't say anything negative on the internet. And that's to protect them from paying you unemployment. If you say something out of line and you crash out in public, and they use like the so-called white supremacists, they use a lot of different scenarios, but it's really aimed towards this truth. Yeah. And that's the Lord using that to go ahead and remove the truth. Because the famine of the word is also going to happen. And the Lord's going to put the spirit on Esau to start censoring more and more to where this truth is really hard to access. People take for granted how easy it is to access this truth right now because they have the comfort of having it in abundance. But the Lord's going to turn that flood into a desert.
Hey, if I may say this, my old gig, they had a policy in place where they said if you get caught on social media defaming basically your company, you have a company logo on your thing, you caught defaming, it's a $3,000 fine. And you brought to court. That was in the books, and like they said, you don't realize when you signed it, but you signed that. And so when you got here with the testimony of Christian outside, they allowed you to say, hey man, hey, don't you work for me? Come here. Let me get that check up. And we've seen how men fold when that check gets to going low. Kyrie Irving, Kanye West, Nick, what's his name? Nick Cannon, what? All these men, when the check got low, the hungriness showed, man.
In a video that cop showed up at this guy's doorstep and posted something on social media, and he was just reiterating what the international courts have been doing for the last year. He has to do that. He's lost the information narrative. He's lost the appearance of being a good guy. He's lost that. So the only thing he can do is keep the lie in place by force. So if you don't agree with the lie, then you just cut off. You get no benefit, which is open bribery. That's all the system is creating. Open bribery and hypocrisy. Because it was good. Freedom of speech was cool when you benefited from it. Now that you're losing from the privilege of free speech, now you're going to censor it. But it's all the spirit of the Lord, because this truth was never meant to be out here forever. It was out here for a season, for the elect's sake. When this word reaches the four corners of the earth, and the end will come. Alright, but at the end, we're starting to see, you know, the Amos 8:11, you know, the family of the word, man. You know? Because like you said, this truth was never meant to be a long-lasting thing. I always say this, you know, this truth is constant. Yes, you know, it's an esoteric, time-sensitive thing that was only given to a small group of people on the earth. And once that was given, now we're starting to see it back, because we're seeing what the masses are doing with it.
disrespecting it, mocking it. You know, they're taking for granted what the Lord is doing. So I keep reiterating, you know, what Apostle Ramos has said. You know, we see the truth and the different, you know, niggas mocking the truth. You know, people only want to talk about the truth, but it's Jake fighting somebody, you know, cussing out, you know, somebody's entertainment, and it's never for the right reason. But like we talked about, brothers do edifying videos every day. It's only the controversial ones that go live. Yeah. To show you, Jake don't care. But it's going out like that. All these videos that have been highlighting to show you the Lord is using truth to market things.
If I may add to your point, because a prime example of that is that Jake that came up to the elders in Dallas on Friday.
Yeah, yeah.
Going to show you, Jake don't really know what they're a part of. Only videos they watch is the ones where it's action. You know, they cutting Esau, they doing this, that, and third. But the edifying videos going into the history, going into prophecy, those are things that Jake don't pay attention to. They don't tune into, and it shows. And that's a very scary state to be in, especially in the times we're living in now. To not know what you're a part of and to not know what the will of the Lord, that's scary, man.
Yeah, because this was never meant for entertainment. Nah, it was to prepare your spirit for what's about to actually happen. That's why the scriptures say all these things are written for our learning, that we might have hope. Because in a moment of uncertainty, you're going to need hope to stay grounded. And that's why the Lord prepared the elect to say, look, this going to happen, this going to happen, don't trip. Yeah. Don't lose your cool, this going to happen to you, this going to happen to you. When you see it, just know. We're transitioning, we're going from faith to faith. Right. Jake is stuck in first gear, not realizing that this was never meant to stay in first gear. It was meant to go from faith to faith. From the preaching of the word to the Lord's demonstration of it.
Yeah. And that's why I said something earlier about the uncertainty.
The fear of the unknown. You know, the fear of the unknown brings about anxiety. You know, when people are uncertain about their next situation or their next move, that brings about anxiety, and anxiety brings about rash decisions.
Right. Those rash decisions are going to get Jake fucked up out here because, like the scriptures, Isaiah 41:14, and then Joshua like 1 and 9, tell you the Lord is going, he's with us. And that's why when you're put in that, man, what the hell am I going to do? You know, that, like you said, an area to where you did all you could do. So now it's in the Lord's hand. You know that he got you. Like that this quote, it says, as I see it, this is the way the Most High works. He purposely and deliberately works in a way that contradicts the way men reason. He must have an environment of impossibility before he commits the work. That simply is the way the Most High is the manner in which he works. Okay. Yes,
that's fire. One more time.
Yeah. It says, as I see it, this is the way the Most High works.
Because that's how the Lord shows your intellect is not higher than his. So you can't reason within yourself and understand the Lord. He's beyond your comprehension. So the Lord uses uncertainty to confirm that in your own mind, so you don't think that you and the Lord right here. That's what most people think. They think them and the Lord. Their brain and the Lord brain is like right here. So that's why people don't have a fear of him. Because they look at him as an equal. He's not your equal.
Real quick, can you get that Isaiah 55?
That is Isaiah 55 and verse 7. Verse 8 it says, my thoughts, verse 7, Isaiah 55 and 7, let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts.
Right, and what's that going into? Jake, you think you know it. Like you say, you think you are above, you know, what the Most High has put, you know, our people in. Meaning that you think that you are in the same boat as Moses, as King David, all right? All the men of renown, you think you are there, bro. You're a regular commoner. You know, the Most High, we don't know who the Most High really dealing with on this side, man. You know, so for Jake to put themselves in that mind like they know the Lord, you got to put yourself in the mind of a child. As we don't know anything, man. And be that sponge you soak up his wisdom.
God, I'm going to go straight to the point. Isaiah 55 and 8, it says, for my thoughts. Isaiah 55 and 7, let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts, and let him return unto the Lord, and he will have mercy upon him.
Right, so meaning be born again. Right. Be truly born again. Be washed with the word. All right, the true baptism, not getting your head dunked in some damn fluoridated water. Man. You know, you got to be truly born again, which means you you let the old man die, and now you're walking in the newness of the spirit, becoming that new creature of the Mashiach.
Because the reality is that the old man was fashioned after Esau.
Exactly.
That is the reality of what the old man was. It was fashioned according to Esau's mind. And that's why the washing of this word takes that bullshit away, excuse my French, and it gives you the proper eyesight and a proper understanding. And now you're being fashioned after the image of the Lord. Because there's no in-between. You're either being fashioned after Esau or you're being fashioned after the Lord. There is no gray area. I don't care if you're Chinese or Japanese, Arab, it don't matter. You're being fashioned after Esau. Because when this beast system is implemented, it's going to be implemented everywhere. Nobody's going to be able to see it.
And even when we get to that point, it's the fact of how you're brought up. Because these other nations don't even keep their own customs no more. They dress like Esau, they talk like Esau, they come over here, they shave their face, they cut their hair, they look like a so-called white man. It's suit, all that bullshit, but you have to understand the way that the Lord created us to be, but you do that by learning, all right, your foundation, learning the milk. And then as you grow in the milk, begin to nourish the bones. Like once the breath is put there, it's the process of you being put together like a baby. As you grow in the fetus, and everything starts forming, and then it comes out as a person. That's kind of like how you have to be spiritually, right?
That's where proper reasoning comes from.
Yeah.
It's from being reborn, and once we're reborn, like it says in John the 3rd chapter, he said we got to be reborn. And once you come back as a newborn baby, you desire the sincere milk, and we're nourished, and we're brought up and the proper reasoning of the Lord, the intellect of the Lord, and how the Lord reasons and how He thinks about things. You know, where our minds are transformed, and we leave off from what we've been taught in the world. Because the world taught us in BS.
A good example is the Matrix. All right, you was Mr. Smith in the world. The Lord pulls you out the Matrix. Now you Neo. Now you're figuring out how to move in the real world for real. All right, you're learning how to truly see. You're learning how to truly think. Because even that, you people don't even think original thoughts. Do you know everything that you thought was implanted into your mind? That's why you think you're being hit with subliminals every day, all day, man. You know? Because you are being conditioned to be a product of the Edomite, man. All right?
And without the heads of the Lord, as the scripture said, there is no enchantment against Jacob.
Right.
So once you come back into the pavilion of the Lord, you're protected from those things through spirit and mercy of the Lord.
To add to that, because I did a video on this. There was this ex-witch that was saying when she used to put curses on people and whatnot, she said the only people that she couldn't hex was pretty much the true Christians. All right, because they said that whenever they would see the demons on them, they would have a blue barrier around them, you know, to prevent the demons from attacking you. And that was the one that was really connected with the power. There's us, but like you said, there's no enchantment against Jacob because we have that spiritual skill.
And that's why the Lord told us not to fear those things. Our job, Lord, when we be a part of that number, is to reverence and fear the Lord. Everything else is a circumstance that the Lord is already in control of. So we going straight to, the Lord has allowed us to go straight to the source, which is Him. And that's why you've been trained up through your life. The Lord is, the moment you come into this truth, you go through peaks and valleys. You go through highs and lows. Continually. It's like seasons. Every brother goes through a season of peaks and valleys. And what that does is it forces you to have an instinct of trusting the Lord. It forces you to embrace valleys and appreciate peace. So when this shit falls and hits the fan, we understand, oh yeah, it's time to go. And the Lord's already spiritually detached the elect from this place. So you're not attached to the possessions. They can keep it. It's not ours anyway. We can't even take the body.
Isaiah 55 and verse 7 in the latter says, and to our power, for He will abundantly pardon. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord.
Right. That's why at the end of the day, you have to totally renew your ways of thinking because you don't have the Lord to figure it out. You know, Jake think they crack the code where they get a passing over the Lord. No, the Lord sees all, He knows all. Guess what? He knows the thought that you're gonna do before you think it. You know, so you don't understand the game or the situation that you're in, man. The game that you're playing. All right, the Lord has you figured out. So with that being said, man, you best just play by the the set of rules the Lord gave you and watch how prophecy unfolds, man. You know?
I got one real quick to land back. This 1 Corinthians 1 and 21 in the NLT. It says, since the Most High in his wisdom saw to it that the world would never know him through human wisdom, he has used our foolish preaching to save those who believe.
And why is that? Because it says the wisdom of Solomon 1 and 4 that wisdom can't enter into a malicious soul. So if your mind is fashioned after the Edomite way of thinking, until you get rid of that and become a newborn babe in the spirit, you're not going to comprehend the words that's being spoken. That's why, as we read earlier, Phil Zion with some unspeakable oracles, and the oracles are coming to pass as we speak, as for the whole world to see, but they can't see it because their spirit they can't with it. You know? That's why I look at these books of fairy tales.
That's why I look the way I look to a carnal man.
Yeah.
Carnal men will see it as ignorant, they'll see it as base. But look at what you glorify, look at what you applaud. There's a world of gross darkness, where darkness and lies have been so normalized that the truth is outcast.
Bro, if I give an example, you niggas still think that sports is real.
Yeah.
All this gambling that's coming out, you know, it's been exposed now, all this shit fixed. A nigga will fight you down to show you, nah, bro, this shit is real. Boxing, NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, whatever avenue, bro, Esau has because it's entertainment. It's bread and circus. It's meant to keep your mind from seeing what's really going on out there.
That's Rome 101.
Right.
Which shows you this is the revival in hip hop. That was their go-to. Bread and circus.
Right.
Kind of showed you that in the movie Young. When you watch that movie, it shows you the relationship between the gladiator game and the NFL. How the NFL is just a sanitized version of the gladiator game.
And brothers read earlier that Habakkuk 1, how this is a marvelous work. This is a marvelous work that's taking place. And this is truly a spectacle. Because we have men who are coming out of this reasoning of the world and into the reasoning of the Lord. And it's like, how are they doing it? There's so much bread and circus, there's so many distractions that have been put out here to keep us in a docile state of mind. That these when you have men that have this testimony springing up like the Willicords, it's like, man, how are they doing this? How are they getting out of the matrix? How are they breaking this veil that we set over them?
Y'all heard of the animated series?
I heard about it.
It's an episode that literally goes on who said there's Jake, he was running. And pretty much he was about to like break the record, whatever, and he ended up tearing the muscles in his feet. He couldn't run the board. He said he couldn't run the board, but at the end of the show, they're all still in the matrix. He gets up and like takes a step and then sits back down to show you he's still trying to fight those shit. He broke out and then they got him back in. So he's showing he still has to fight him.
And the Lord left that fight within the remnant. Otherwise, we would have been overtaken. But the Lord left that fight, that sense of purpose, that sense of duty within a remnant to pick up the mantle in a lot of days and to carry it to the end till Yahushua returns. Because the spirit didn't leave. It was just docile for a minute. You know, it was just docile until the Lord saw fit to turn it back up. And now the spirits are being turned back up and truth is starting to flourish.
There's a lot of ancient spirits back on the earth. A lot of ancient men, a lot of ancient prophets are back on the earth, which shows you this destruction is about to further exceed the first one in Egypt. Because the Lord got the prophets out in abundance back in this lifetime to push the word for the season finale. And that's the beauty of it. I was thinking about how this guy, this Jake that came by said, you know, y'all the only ones talking about something, and that begins with our apostles and elders. But imagine the Edomites that's high up, the elites, hearing a sermon, knowing that they in the boardroom talking about this shit. They really doing this shit. They got paperwork, they got memos, and brothers are getting straight from the source. There's the elites on the right, and you have the elites on the left.
And the apostles get that testimony, and they'll teach you. Right. You might hop out at them that we spent billions of dollars for y'all. How y'all get this? That's it. That's it.
The ghetto, your chemtrails.
The moment you out the womb, they shoot you up with some inoculation, all the people in spirit. That's now, man.
And so to have this is a form of spiritual power. Because Esau created systems to where you born into this world and you are done. It will keep you dumb and unhealthy. First quarter. So to have this is an anomaly, which is what Neo was in the Matrix. He was an anomaly. That's what the Lord, the elect are, and that's the anomaly, and that's the spirit of the Lord. That's the mercy of the Lord, so that no man can vote. So the Lord can show Esau, I see that you gave him black votes. I see what you put in the food. Simple that. That's how we're doing it. All right, well watch this though. And then the Lord let the elect spring up out of nowhere. Oh, well, they in Australia. Oh, they in Italy, Africa. They in Europe. They in Holland. Yeah, it's the spirit of the Lord. Esau never had power. He was always, him believing he had power was his biggest deception. His pride is deceiving. You were never in power. You never had control of the situation.
And they knew. Because when you go into the Willie Lynch letter, that show you that was always their biggest fear. You go into grab that extra clip like that. But they always forewarned that there was gonna come a time to where the children of Israel was gonna wake back up. And that's why they've done everything that brother was making mention of, to try to keep us in that dead state. So this is from Willie Lynch letter. From this paragraph, it goes into possible interloping negatives. And it says, we created an orbiting cycle that turns on its own axis forever, unless a phenomenon occurs and resist and position of the male and female savages. Our experts warned us about the possibility of this phenomenon occurring because they know, according to their science, you can only fool so-called brown people for so long, man, because our minds are inherently always look for the truth. It says, for they say that the mind has a strong drive to correct and recorrect itself over a period of time if it can touch some substantial original historical base. And they advise us that the best way to deal with the phenomenon is to shave off the group's mental history and create a multiplicity of phenomena of illusions so that each illusion will twirl on its own orbit, something similar to floating balls in a vacuum. You know?
Sick work, man. That's how evil this man is. He thought generations ahead. If I set this up right, it'll be self-replicating to a point where you don't even have to touch it. You can just contain them and let them do what they already gonna do. So for the elect to wake up, it shows the power of the Lord that no man can boast, no man can brag, no man can say, I did it, I found the Lord. No, the Lord found you. The Lord will lead you.
And that's the thing Esau didn't take account of was the Holy Spirit. Because everything that we were talking about, Esau put it in play. It's a document you can read called I believe it's called the Masonic Creed. But it's a long list of everything that he's been doing to pretty much fuck you up for it. To keep it simple, you can look up that poem on YouTube, If I Were the Devil. It's by Paul Halsey.
Right.
And when you listen to that, he literally tell you everything he did because they said that the biggest trick that was ever played with mankind was telling you the devil wasn't real.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. And Christianity did that by making people believe the devil was a red creature with a tail and a pitchfork. Right. Now he's a red man on the planet, wreaking havoc.
Presidents.
Yep. It's a system that was created so when you think you can, integrate and then get up in there. So if I could just get one Jacob in there and he can open the door for the rest of us. No, it's a ceiling. And they're only going to allow you to get but so far. And amongst that ceiling, they're going to make sure that it's shit in place to where, nigga, you better not step over this line. Okay, you got over this one. Nope. So you right here. It's like, all right, we got to tell the nigga now, man. He's looking into too much.
That's like having a big oak tree. You got a big ass oak tree, and then you try to graft in another type of tree by cutting off one branch and then just trying to graft it in and change the whole tree. That ain't how it works. That's why the Lord said, until this is taken out of the way, righteousness can't be planted. The Lord likens the planet until the harvest is the end of the world, right? So the Lord's going to pull up this wicked tree and then plant the good seed, which is the elect under Yahweh Shah, and then righteousness can flourish. But you can't get into a wicked system and change it. It was meant to be this way.
That means you got to uproot every single thing that they have done, and that's never going to happen. Because Esau has done intricate, research and studies on how to destroy you on literally every level. from the outside of you all the way down to your molecular makeup.
Right.
He figured out how to destroy you.
They say even before you're born.
Yeah.
Why do you think all these children are being born with autism and these different alphabet diseases? Because Esau engineered it through the food, through the drugs, through the different, even the vibrations that he puts out. So while you're being conceived, you're malnourished from the jump. Then when you're born, your mind is at a disadvantage. You're already at a disadvantage. So when you grow up in the world, the system that's in place, the educational system, they're just going to pass you through. And they're not going to teach you nothing. So basically, you're going to grow up your whole life at a disadvantage. Yes, especially for Israelites.
Because the educational system is nothing more than indoctrination. Right. And they talked about, from the time from when the school's curriculum changed to what we see now. Because the what's the book that manufactured all the courses? The Raw or something like that? Yeah. That dude was amazing. He was funded by I believe it was the Rockefeller, the Rothschild, to put whatever information in those books to get people to learn that shit. Because they said they don't want a nation of thinkers, they want a nation of workers.
This is Psalms chapter 64 and verse 6. They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search.
And Esau that looked into everything. He thought about it. Since this man got control of the earth, he went to all the different kingdoms that had the Israelites in captivity and learned everything about it. Right. To keep you in this thing. That's why when you look at the gods of Babylon, they're all the same repackaged gods from the name. Right. Right. And it all starts with going back to Babylon. Esau did his research. He's a well-studied man. You say he's wise with that. So he knew exactly what snares that was going to get Israel every time. Because he did the research. You read our research in the scripture. Jake always got caught by others. You can just keep the others. Now it ain't going to be at the beach. You can just make it to where you just celebrate the birthday. You put a Christmas tree up. To people, that's carnal. That's horrible. I'm not hurting nobody. I'm just keeping the custom of my people. Not realizing that shit is committing spiritual fornication. It's damning your children and damning your seed line if you continue to push that bullshit through the years, man.
That's close because the scriptures describe him as a cunning hunter. And in order, a hunter, what? He knows to prey. If you hunting deer, you in the mindset of a deer. How they move, right. How they move, what times they come out, what food they like. You hunting different animals, you put yourself in the mind of that different animal, and you cater the terrain and the situation to catch it. And he's a hunter of men. Souls.
Yeah. Right, they said we ain't gonna find no occasion. Let's be in their law. So that's why Esau keep walking in the thing. Everything. They know what's going on. But they do that purposely because they searched out. Hey, it says get on Psalm 7:14. And then get the one in somebody get the one in Isaiah. Isaiah 32, start at 5.
I got Isaiah. Is it Psalm 7?
Yeah, Psalm 7:14. Because it goes back to this. With the brother reading Psalm 64. Read that.
Because you think about it, Egypt, which a lot of the spiritual idolatry is sourced from Egypt. Because Esau realized, all right, when y'all had them in captivity, how did y'all do it? Right. That's what y'all did. All right. And that's when you think about the CIA and all of these. A lot of what they do is research and development. Yeah, they do a bunch of skillful, diligent search, and they have people that they pay salaries to look deep into things and just condense it and make it easy for me to understand and make a decision on how to deal with it. And he's always done that. Why do you think whenever Ptolemy got Egypt, what was the first thing they did? They went to the library because they went to go look out those different rituals and shit that they like the Babylonian money man. Right. The whole way the financial system work, they got that from Babylon. All right, printing money out of fake air. So
and that devil was there when the Babylonians took us down. He watched them devils how they did. The Lord set him up with that style that his father taught him. Right. So Alexander the Great came in, and when the Edomites watched how Babylonians took down Judah. They was there, man. They saw it.
They helped.
Right. So the Lord put the spirit on the devil to respect war, man.
Yeah.
also the nations know what Jacob's attracted to. That's why their idols are blinged out with gold and silver. As soon as Jake gets some money, what he does? Blings out.
It's a show. It's a show that he called American God.
Yeah.
And that show is
That's what I'm
showing
talking about. I said American God.
the new God versus the old God. And so as I said, the new God that we're showing is like technology, social media, you know, phones and whatnot. You got the old gods, you know, the shit they've been worshiping and slavery and shit, you know? So I already think I talked to woman about that.
Yeah. Well, I know somebody said, what he said when he was on the ship with me, he said, let me tell you about a story.
Oh yeah, that was I forgot the Jake name.
Yeah.
I did a video on that. They banned my shit. Yeah.
Okay. That's how it works. You got that. Yeah.
He was a guy. He was pretty much they killed him and they set the soil on fire and shit.
So Isaiah chapter 32 and verse 5 says, the vile person shall be no more called liberal,
Right.
nor the churl said to be bountiful.
Liberals are supposed to be balanced, equity. That's not the so-called white man. Go ahead.
For the vile person will speak villainy,
Right.
and his heart will work iniquity.
Hey, now I understand this more because I read Sirach 16 and 23. It say he that how's the word they say he that wants of understanding will think upon vain things. So he can't get the understanding of the Lord. The Lord gave him a lot of this. Just be a nigga. Just be wicked.
So whatever you think
He can't think right. So it's saying he that wants to understand will think upon vain things. So this makes sense. Read that line again up.
Isaiah 32 and 6. For the vile person will speak villainy, and his heart will work iniquity.
And that's all he knows. Go ahead.
To practice hypocrisy, and to utter error against the Lord.
To practice hypocrisy and utter error against the Lord. Everything the so-called white man do is against the Lord. Alphabet community. Yeah, you that right. Go.
Right.
Or go. Yeah. Go ahead.
Hey, even him talking about the earth, you know, you got an Earth Day, all
Right.
things. We gonna clean the earth up. This nigga's pumping floods and shit in the water, factory smoke. They spraying barium oxide, got them aluminum in the air and shit.
Give a nigga HIV with bail aspirin and shit.
There's always a rescue thrown somewhere, bro.
That's all he can produce. He don't have the ability to change.
Nah.
Right.
And that's what our people don't understand. You can't appeal to this man's empathy because he don't have empathy.
Right.
You can't appeal to something that don't exist in him. He don't have compassion.
Right.
Not even with his own people. He don't have. That's not in his stock. That's like expecting an orange to give an apple. They can't do it. You got orange, you got apple.
Right. Jeremiah 13, man. He's accustomed to being evil. He can't do good.
Right.
Go ahead.
Finishing out, Isaiah 32 and 6 in the latter, to make empty the soul of the hungry,
Right.
and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail.
He makes empty the soul of the hungry to Israel. They call it the drink of the thirsty to fail. That's Israel. Go ahead.
And then if you want to equate it to the modern what's going on now, Trump has weaponized hunger.
Right.
Yeah.
To get his agenda across, he's weaponized hunger.
And then playing with you in your face. They building up and down this West Wing, which is nothing what they say, it's a bunker pretty much. But
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
So he's showing you, he's saying at one hand, we ain't got no money. But then he building a bunker, he's sending billions to Argentina. He's still sending millions to Israel to go bomb the Palestinians. So what he's telling you, like, look, y'all gonna listen to me one way or another. So if you're not, you don't want to play ball, I'm taking y'all snap. Y'all niggas going out, y'all gonna starve. So you want to get down.
And you got Thanksgiving and Christmas coming around.
Yeah, it's the perfect time. And what Jake already told you, we gonna celebrate these holidays no matter what. We gonna, if I gotta go in the store and steal me a goddamn turkey, I'm gonna have that turkey on my table. And like I saw say there, no matter how bad down bad they're gonna be, they still gonna post a proud ass fucking picture on social media. How they got their shit, man.
Isaiah 32 and 7. The instruments also of the churl are evil.
Right.
He deviseth wicked devices
He devises wicked devices. Go ahead.
to destroy the poor.
Hey, and that's what the CIA is into. Yeah. Devising wicked devices. They make these movies that act like these niggas is the good guys. These niggas is overthrowing governments. These niggas is poisoning people. These niggas is throwing out misinformation on purpose. And then creating a problem and then acting like they're gonna step in to help. And the whole time you looking at James Bond like he a real one. Man, that nigga's wrong.
Hollywood itself was created by the CIA. And all these movies that you see, they get their plot from fucking classified files and shit they didn't done.
Yeah, they playing Nintendo 64 playing GoldenEye, you think you a good guy. No, you out there killing good people.
Yeah, they show you that in Black Mirror. It's that movie called Metalhead, episode called Metalhead, to where they got these helmets on. So they think they're going to war, they kill insurgents. So dude ends up getting his helmet off his dick. He saw the people he was killing was like how the Palestinians all over there, man. You know, innocent people. I forgot what people was in. I think it's called Metalhead or something. I looked up.
Down helmet, don't do the ass out.
Yeah, so cause in the helmet you see it's telling you insurgents. So he's told to shoot on sight.
Yeah.
So I think his shit got damaged. That's what it was. It got damaged. So the system wasn't on. So when he saw him, when you look at it, they call them roaches. And so when the shit didn't show roaches no more, he saw it was a woman and her child in the corner, scared as shit, and he was about to shoot her. And he was like, oh shit, and he ended up getting killed.
That's an enchantment. He's like a perfect example. When Trump was running years ago, he equated immigrants to criminals. And he would do that at campaign runs. He would do that at campaign rallies. He would say, these immigrants are criminals, even though statistically speaking, they don't commit as much crime as these Americans do. But he kept doing that to imprint in people's minds, criminal immigrants. So when ICE was out here snatching people up, in their mind, they equate that person getting snatched up to a criminal. So this condition is already happening. So when because he increased the budget of ICE, and that's going to basically mean is enforcement within the borders. That's going to be his enforcement tool, if you will. He could use the National Guard, but ICE is more preferable because the private prisons, that private prison industrial complex, you know what they did? They got in on creating the immigration facility because people are not committing as much crime as they used to. So the money in private prisons is starting to dry up, so they got to transition. So what ICE is going to do, they're going to, like leading sheep to a slaughter, they're going to lead them right into these facilities.
There's twofold when they're doing it too, because it came out, I believe yesterday, that they said that it's criminals impersonate ICE agents now, so they're going to require IDs going forward. So it's showing you that the digital ID is slowly being pushed over here. I was showing them yesterday. Utah is the first state that's trying to advocate getting digital ID. So it's already starting to come to America now.
So let me get these. I know y'all got you get these last two.
Isaiah 32:7. The instruments also of the true are evil. He devises wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speaketh right.
Right. That's it. Now read this.
Psalm 7:14.
Yeah.
Behold, he travaileth with iniquity.
He travaileth with iniquity. Go ahead.
And have conceived mischief and brought forth falsehood.
See, that's it. Y'all go back to they search out a diligent search, man. You got this.
Proverbs 11:25. The liberal soul shall be made fat, and he that watereth shall be watered, also himself.
Right.
He that withheld corn, the people shall curse him.
Right. And like it said in Job 18, all the hands of the wicked gonna come upon this devil, man. Which is the labor. Because these people back they labor by fraud, man. They wages.
Even his own people.
Right.
You don't see them MAGA hats.
No?
Hell no.
You don't see them MAGA hats. The MAGAs are mad.
See a lot of weak.
Nah, they in line at the food bank.
Right.
Shit getting real.
They said today, America, job layoffs have reached an all-time high in 22 years. It wasn't like this since 2003. Now joblessness is an all-time high in 22 years and 23 years. And then on top of that, like the folks going into, a lot of these people who are being laid off don't have, now that the government assistance programs being put on this, they don't have any other way, they don't have any other outlet. It's going to lead to that sedition.
Hey, I saw a YouTube, she said she got 29 years of experience with her master's degree, and she was in the food bank line.
Yeah, what it is that job layoff is more people unemployed than job available. A lot of these job companies they've been showing that's open, they're ghost companies. They're not real.
About 6 to 7% of people are living below the poverty line.
And you know what they're doing? The reason that they put those ghost jobs out there, for those who don't know, it's because they're selling your data. So they put those jobs out there, you put all your information on there. They gather all of that, and then they leverage it to sell it off. Yeah. That's why they go through the trouble of doing it.
Indeed, it's a major one for that.
That's what I was just going to say that.
That's all I remember. I didn't do that hell of an application. That's all I get is spam text now,
But I get all them text messages. And I talk to you about careers and jobs.
Yeah.
Indeed, I'm so good.
and it's always a WhatsApp link at the
Oh,
end
yeah.
of it.
That's what's going on.
If I told that was they tell me you gotta read. I said fuck, I deleted that shit. I ain't redoing that shit. Fuck all that. Yeah, the fucking devil. You know, that was it on that.
Proverbs 11 and 26.
Hey, the Lord working the work, man.
Yeah.
The Lord working, man. You got it.
He that withholdeth corn, the people shall curse him.
That's so-called white man.
And this is why the Lord said, knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of thy time. Because when all else fails, the only one who's going to have hope is the Lord. That's the only one who's going to have hope. Because everybody's hope is tied to this place.
Right, right.
It's sad. When all that shit crumbles, a lot of people are mentally crazy. Yeah.
Hey,
They didn't see a reality outside of this.
And that was a preview of that during the lockdown. When people couldn't start on social media, depression was at an all-time high.
Hey, that's why, hey, the simplicity in your house shop, man. Isaiah 30 and 12, it say, they that trust in oppression, man, and perversion. Hey, you niggas trusting in the so-called white man, but in Job 11 and 20, he said the best hope they got is give up the ghost. So if your hope is on the so-called white man, his sister, hey, it's over, man.
And then for the revelation, you know, that shall seek to find death and not find it.
Right.
Seek death and not find it. Now we know that was going into the time of World War, World War I, whatever, or World War II, whatever, I forget. But that's going to be like that that day. People want to off themselves a king.
Right.
You know?
That's a beautiful thing.
Because death is an escape. Ultimately, that's why, hey, for you believers out there, you shouldn't fear death, man. That's really an honor at that point. Because God the Lord got us out of that shit. You know, so whoever's supposed to be a martyr, you know, you take that with pride because the Lord is literally doing you a favor. You know?
Hold on. Let me get something and land back there real quick. This is Hebrews chapter 2. I'm going to jump down to verse 14. I'm going to read this in the NLT. It says, because God's children are human beings made of flesh and blood, the Son also became flesh and blood. For only as a human being could he die, and only by dying could he break the power of the devil, who had the power of death. And only in this way could he set free all who have lived their lives as slaves to the fear of dying. Because most people are living their lives as a slave to the fear of dying. That's why Esau was able to leverage that. To say, all right, just make it chill. Just make it chill. And the Lord freed the elect from that.
Because we're just speaking about reason, reasoning that the Lord has offered us over the fear of the circumstance. So Wisdom of Solomon 17, I got this from a couple of years back. It says, for fear is nothing else but a betraying of the superbs which reason offers. And it said, it's cool because it said, like, when you listen to it, it's saying, for fear is nothing else. Like, this is what fear is. But it's the flesh that
I can't think of the word. Go ahead.
It says, for fear is nothing else but a betraying of the superbs which reason offers.
Enhance. It's your flesh that enhance the fear that the devil has taught you.
It's going to say that next time.
Right. Yeah.
The Lord is your help. So, as the brother just said, your flesh, you start overthinking and what it is, you start thinking in the future instead of being in the present. Right. You got to live in the present because the Lord controls the future. So if you start thinking about what's going to happen, you're starting to take power from the Lord and think you're going to do that on your own time. And that's why let the Lord work. Psalm 46 says, be still and know that I am the Lord.
Hey, that word be still, it goes into the Hebrew rabah, meaning relax. Yeah. It says, and the expectation from within, being less, count of the ignorance more than the cause and the control.
That fear of you trying to put your mind starts going to it.
That's that damn flesh, man.
Definition of fear. Fear is a natural, unpleasant emotion caused by the anticipation of awareness of danger.
And going back to what you said earlier about that uncertainty. Because when you don't know what's going to happen, that fear begins to put all these possibilities of what can happen. But then we know what's going to happen. Right. Now we don't know exactly what the Lord's going to do, but we know the Lord's going to do something.
So He's going to do it.
Yeah.
We know something magnificent is going to happen.
That's number 23:19. The Lord is not a man that he should lie,
right.
Neither the son of man that he should repent. Shall he not do what he said it? Okay.
Triggering is psychological fight or flight response.
Damn.
Now I want to get
chemical unbalance.
I want to get this Wisdom of Solomon 17 in the GMTD. Wisdom of Solomon 17:12 it says, "Fear is nothing but the failure to use the help that reason gives. When you lack the confidence to rely on reason, you give in to the fears caused by ignorance."
That's the parasite activating in your ass.
Them demons start thinking for you because they want to live.
Yeah.
Think about it. To show you that how the flesh, what you just said is heavy. Because when you are on a parasite detox, what happens? You're killing off those parasites. So what they do is start killing off dioxins that make you to stop. You start getting headaches, stomach start hurting, you feel like you're about to stop dead.
Start hallucinating.
Yeah, they want you to stop, so you gotta push through that shit, man. They show you don't control the flesh, man.
Yeah.
You know, so you gotta let the spirit work, man.
Hey, that's why Galatians is there, man. Galatians 5:16 says, exercise the spirit, you should overpower the flesh,
Right.
man. If you ain't exercise your spirit, your flesh gonna take over. Right. That's why we got niggas out here now with sugar. Right. This niggas straight parasites, walking parasites, man. Little sugar demon, little nigga.
Yeah, the diet already bad. Now you had perks and addicts to it too.
Man,
forget about it.
On top of that, wait till the withdrawal hit. You ain't gonna have that shit.
We talk about that all the time. Hey, all that sedation, this chemical marijuana and that wine, liquor be gone. It's gonna be straight demons out here, man.
Hey, the brother talking on control say this, man. When the Lord take them demons off of you, and you see what we see.
Yeah.
So you ain't got the covering to understand. You gonna crash out.
Hey, what I can say? Right at the very moment of Jacob's trouble, that's when reality gonna set in for all these 2/3. The Lord gonna show, but your ass gonna get 8 on at that point.
Hey, it's cold because the Apostle of God, he said often, and people think it's a joke, or people's minds really tell them, KFC, Popeye,
No, it's for real.
Wendy.
Because that's their drugs. That's the drugs from that witchcraft that they eat, man. That's literally, because you have what you call, it's called a truth inside. Those are demons. That's talking in your head, in your voice, making it sound like that's what you want. That's what you want to do. That's why you in the club, and niggas stuff on your shoes. Not, I let it go. No, I'm gonna fuck up and shoot the shit. I got shit to lose, bro. But like you said, when that shit, when Jacob's trouble truly hits home, the Lord's gonna take that puppet cast out with you, and you gonna see shit for what it really is out here.
So Isaiah chapter 25 and verse 7. And he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations.
Right, because that's what's happening right now. Esau is running a highly organized, insane asylum where everybody is medicated in some form or fashion. That's what this is organized wickedness in a mental asylum, and they call it a society. But that's what this is. That's why everybody has to be heavily medicated to agree to live like this. But the Lord's going to remove that. All right, now you don't have this. You don't have the upward border count. You don't even have food. That's fuck getting sober. You don't even have food. But you got guns though. The Lord will say, hey, well, you got the AR. Right. You been shooting, right? Exactly. Got some food. Go get that bread from Steve, man. Right. That's when the 2,000 would be. Come on, man. Steve got a little nine. Pull his back out, man. Come on, man. Yeah. Come on, about that bread. I bet he got noodles over there and everything. That's what the demons really gonna be in there like. This is what we made for. We do this shit. Right. We saw the role. We the main character. That's when the demons gonna hop on them and they gonna crash out.
I got this for you. I got this for you because when that time comes, that's when the Lord is going to start demanding answers. This is how Job 38 and verse 3. Gird up now thy loins like a man, if I will demand of thee and answer thou me. That's when the Lord is going to start demanding answers. All right, you don't have food, you don't have the sugar, you don't have the luxury. What are you going to do? And your answer has to be according to the Spirit. You know, because a lot of people are going, when the Lord starts demanding of them, they're going to start making rash decisions according to the flesh. And they're not going to make the proper decisions according to the Spirit of the Lord, man.
You know, but I was thinking about when you read that verse. Jake is forgetting the point. Esau ain't the problem. The disobedience was the problem. Right? Esau was the tool for us to be disciplined, to understand that a mistake was made in offending the Lord. Esau is just in between that. So if you try to prepare yourself against what Esau has, you're missing the point.
Hey,
the point was to repent, not to get MREs, AR-15s, hunker down and protect yourself from the judgment of the Lord. That's all that really is. Esau's only being used as a tool of judgment.
Hey, real quick, somebody get Isaiah 10 and 5. So the Lord said it. He said use another tool. Then he said, what you going to do when I'm not telling them to choose?
Exactly.
Well, we get it.
Esau was just used to express the anger of the Lord toward us. Okay. That's what he was the conduit that the Lord was able to express anger and discipline us through. So when you try to say, all right, well, I'm gonna shoot it out now. So you ain't gonna repent. No, I'm gonna shoot it out. Put my field prep, put on my vest, and we're gonna get it out. We're gonna hold court in the streets. You missed the whole point. The whole point was to return to the Lord and say, you know what, Pastor, I fucked up. And now I'm in this fucked up position. I need your help. And that's the point you're supposed to reach. It wasn't supposed to be like, all right, well, if the reaper drone comes, I can throw a grenade. And then, all right, if they check out the water, I got a filtration system. Yeah. You missed the whole fucking point. Why though? That's what it is.
What it is, I don't need the Lord. Right. I'm a real nigga. I can do this. What? It's showing you that you need, the Lord is doing all this to show you ain't got it. We ain't got it. It's all on him. He's going to be the one to take us through this. Not of your own volition. Right. The Lord don't care how many niggas you done killed. The Lord don't know how, he don't care about nothing that you've done. Your fault. He created you.
That's it. That's it. That's why this was a beautiful lesson when you look at what the Lord did with us as a nation. Because we are, as a nation of people, the greatest nation on the planet. But we had to be humble to this degree because when Jake had it, the arrogance was through the roof. Look at how proud Jake is now. Bro, we on the very fucking bottom. This is the worst case scenario. We're living that, and Jake's pride is still stuck in it. So just imagine when Jake was when we had our own land, when we knew who we were, when we knew if we died, we coming back. If you think niggas is crashing out under Christianity, imagine them knowing they coming back. They're gonna respawn in the 3rd and 4th generation. They will really turn up.
This is what happened when you become an American.
So Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 5 says, O Assyrian, the rod of mine anger, and the staff in their hand is mine indignation.
Go ahead.
I will send him against a hypocritical nation.
Israel, right here.
And because again, going back to that point, if 2/3 knew what brothers know, they would only use that for wickedness. Okay? They would only use, that's why the Lord had factory reset us and only give it to the elect.
Good example. I remember being told that dude Yeridon used to be the head of the Atlanta camp.
Yeah.
He had some special shit like that. He was like, bro, you know, we can manipulate people with these scriptures. He has to say that as well, man.
And that's what, but see, that's why the Lord said, I'm going to send it against a hypocritical nation. Because that's what Jacob was doing. You had so-called black violence. When you go into the kings, after King Solomon, at a certain point, niggas was just killing each other for the crown. When this guy get in and kill him and hit him with a shalom and then turn around and get stabbed up. So imagine Jacob doing all this wickedness and saying shalom, speaking in our language, wearing the garments. Lord, like, God, make the niggas black.
We see that now. We see it amongst guys like me. Carter, that faggot. You know, this nigga got rich off Israel. And in the moment he got out there being a faggot, what he do? Well, that's like they cosplay. It's a toxic community. It's the same dude that was the chief high priest of Israel though. This truth is the way. You know, so that's funny. Jake, same way. Only difference now is just we don't have a father. You know, like he did the ancient world and all that, but everything else, that nigga mentality is still there. This is why we said earlier about being born again. Because unless you're truly born again in the spirit of how about you outside, and this knowledge is going to be used as malicious for you. And you can knowingly lie to your people. No, these niggas know that when they talk about hell and the shit ain't the Roman beast and all that, they know they going off. They say that. All y'all see on record that said that the members of Extra Understanding, it's a small group of IUIC that knows the chick. That the chick is the MOTP. And they teach it, but to the rest of the congregation, they can let them ask no believe. They know anything. If anything, this nigga Nate has a video going in 2 hours of breaking the name of the Lord down, but then get on there and talk about Jesus. I hear wickedness. I hear the names of Yahweh. Crazy, bro.
Just imagine what Jacob's into in the land. Boy, if you can see what's going on now amongst the circumcision now, just imagine what was going on in the land. That's why the Lord had to send nations to just start killing Jacob, starving.
We get that example in Ezekiel 8. Look for the hole, right? And what's the hole today? The internet, right? You know, so we see everything Jake doing all throughout the world. Right?
Yeah. He must be get the whole hell.
He don't have a star on the walk of fame.
That nigga got a partial
Up the
pay.
walk of shame.
He got a partial pay.
You read in the video.
Isaiah 10:6. I will send him against an hypocritical nation and against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge to take the spoil and to take the prey and to tread them down like the mire of the streets.
Go ahead, read the next one.
Howbeit, he meaneth not so,
Right.
neither doeth his heart think so,
Right.
but it is in his heart to destroy and cut off nations, not a few.
See, he don't understand because the Lord got him doing it. And going back to when you read about Alexander, they tell you that the route that he had to take down, the route that they had to take down the Persians, that's the same route that they had from the garden. The Lord put that route for the so-called white man. What it say in Revelation 12? The 17, that he gonna come out with great wrath. This is what the Lord instilled in him, and he got that energy the whole time, man.
I got this Isaiah 10:7 in the NLT real quick. It says, but the king of Assyria will not understand that he is my tool.
Right.
His mind does not work that way.
Right. Cause going back to Sirach 16, it say, hey, he that wanteth understanding think upon vain things. Go ahead.
He said his mind won't understand that he's my tool.
Right.
And he can't comprehend the thoughts of the Lord. He's thinking that he's calling on earth.
Hey, which is just his judgment.
Think he's a God.
But this nigga think he just doing some wickedness. No, you working for the Lord.
It's Isaiah 10:7, but the king of Assyria will not understand that he is my tool. His mind does not work that way. His plan is simply to destroy, to cut down nation after nation. And he's doing it. The Lord is saying, look, this nigga don't even know. He think it's him.
Right.
But it's only until the Lord really deviate from his plan, because right now everything Esau is doing is according to what he believes he's playing. But eventually the Lord will take the will and be like, yeah.
Lord should have named that bitch crap.
Let right be the law of justice.
The same thing happened to Alexander.
Right.
His mind couldn't comprehend it until the Lord made his ass deviate. He thought he had more than 12 years. Leave it up here. In 12 years, he was thinking in the future. The Lord made that nigga 12 years. Who was that? Antiochus. Antiochus. His mind couldn't comprehend it. The Lord had him rotten from the inside out.
He went so far, he said, I'm gonna be a believer. Yeah, Lord, still.
Yeah, because at the end he said, man, I'm going to worship their God, man. They need to do something. No, hell no.
Isaiah 44:24. Thus saith the Lord, thy Redeemer, and he that formed thee from the womb. I am the Lord that maketh all things, that stretcheth forth the heaven alone, that spreadeth abroad the earth by himself, that frustrateth the counsels of liars, and maketh diviners mad, that turneth wise men backwards, and maketh their knowledge foolish. That confirmeth the word of his servants.
And are we not in that time? Where the words that the Lord put in the mouths of our apostles are now being a reality in our life. That's confirming the words of the prophet. With his servant, which are his servants. And we're in that time, and guess what? It gets greater. If you not stop, Lord willing to be a part of that number, it don't stop there. It only gets greater. Yeah, it's going to go from being words to actual action. Exactly. Because the Lord is building up the kingdom. Whether this world understands that or not is irrelevant. But a kingdom being built, it starts off with wisdom. Yeah. And that's why you're seeing the wisdom first. And then it's going to grow and evolve from there.
Hey, the wisdom talks about the entry comes with wisdom. Right? That was a conspiracy. The REF, I think Michael Cena was a conspiracy. Right? Like that, hey, they use the missiles every day to kill. They tested missiles every day. One forgot to see him for real.
Hey, that movie House of Dynamite.
Yeah.
You walk in there, it's all the regular day. Yeah, you know the regular sound. Yeah, rolling up the line. You got bigger problems than before. And that's how it's going to be. When they were going to work one day, and everything that they know was going to be different. And they never saw it coming.
That's wrong because the Bible is being demystified right now. Yeah, everything that was once a mystery, everything that people thought was a fairy tale, is now an actual reality. People, it's funny. People over there in Afghanistan right now, their whole family got bombed. Uncle, auntie, nieces, nephews, it's through. Really gone.
2 generations wiped out
overnight. You got some people in Venezuela right now bartering their coochie for some bananas. Right now. These things are happening, and people think that so it's ridiculous, so good cheap over here in America that, hey, ain't nothing really going on. But evils are growing in the midst.
Isaiah 44:26. That conformeth the word of his servant and performeth the counsel of his messenger. Read it again. Isaiah 44:26. That conformeth the word of his servant and performeth the counsel of his messenger.
The Lord is performing the counsel of the messenger. Which is the prophecy, man. The Lord said they shall see all together. But it was at the end. In 2 Ezra 6:20 it say, we shall see the world vanish away. Then shall I show these children. And then in 2 Ezra 14, it talks about watch how much the world shall be weakened from age. So as the Lord weakened the earth from the hands of the so-called white man, here comes the prophecy now.
Which was Solomon 12:17. For when men would not believe that thou art of a full power, thou showest thy strength, and among them that know it, thou makest their boldness manifest.
That's the Lord performing the word of his servant and performing the counsel of his message. It's all about prophecy. Hey, ain't no damn conspiracy, man.
2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 5. Remember ye not that when I was with you, I told you these things. And now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Right. Only he who now letteth will let.
And this is the mystery of iniquity. Hey, this ties to one. This ties to somebody.
Right.
And in Micah 2 and 3, the Lord say, do he devise an evil against this family? Who's the family? Now you got to go and find out who this family is.
I got one.
It say they are cursed. Right? Isaiah 34:5. The cursed people.
Right.
Go ahead.
This is Malachi 1 and 4 in the NLT. Esau's descendants in Edom may say, we have been shattered, but we will rebuild the ruins. Right. But the Lord of heaven's armies replies, they may try to rebuild, but I will demolish them again.
Hey, what the Lord said in Isaiah 14:21? He said, because Saul against his children for iniquity and fathers, that they will not rise, nor fill the face of the world with cities. Who filled the face of the earth with cities? Go ahead.
It says, their country will be known as the land of wickedness.
America. Everything goes in America, man. You can worship any idol. You can follow any religion. Hey, long as it's in the law and the penal code that is self-proclaimed white man, you can do it. Now they got bestiality laws in 10 states. You can take a donkey or a mule and go into a hotel. Yeah, give us room 320. Go ahead.
And they got that overseas though. They got dog walking.
Right.
It says, and their people will be called the people with whom the Lord is forever angry.
Hey, the so-called white man, this nigga done took one of the fucking crocodile, an alligator, man. The self-proclaimed white man did that, man.
He figured out how to pop a snake.
Yeah, what's the company?
Oh, talking about Jimmy John?
Jimmy John.
Yeah, nigga popping dolphin. Laying naked with it.
Hey, they doing that for real, man. Read that line again, that one.
2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse...
Because it said the mystery of iniquity, that's all I wanted. The mystery of iniquity do up already work. Because these devils, like, what do they do? They search out iniquity. That's all they do because they only can think on main things. So he's supposed to go completely left. Oh, what's that song that tell you their right hand is the right hand of falsehood? This better.
Because that's why the Lord set up the prophets to go against these iniquities.
Oh,
that's why the Lord set up the prophets to go against these iniquities. Bring up the truth of the matter.
So you got to think this man convinced the whole world that Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans were a problem on earth, while being the vilest man on earth. At the same time, while literally being the villain, convinced the whole world that Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the worst thing in the world.
Like, this nigga has a known sex trafficking ring, child trafficking ring. They got you to be more mad at Diddy. And you want to find out what you want them afterwards. Right. Man, this nigga, hey, Esau figured out how to play with people's minds. He's a psychopath, man.
Scripture say that he would be loose on little season to deceive the nation. It didn't say he would try. Scripture say that if it were possible, he would deceive the very elect. It shows you that everybody else is under darkness.
And what's holding the forward that now? AI. Yeah, he created this shit now where you can't even tell what it's gonna take. The AI is getting so good now, but the videos, you gotta study to make sure that shit ain't no bullshit.
One thing that's gonna happen with AI is Esau used it as he's gonna do a baby suit. You got people in it using it now because it's useful. It'll give you legit information. But all he has to do is start changing the algorithm. But your mind is already convinced that it's giving you truth. So anything you ask and it gives you a reply, you will automatically attribute it to truth. So all you gotta do is simply change the algorithm and spit out his narrative, and you're done. But right now, to get everybody in, like a cunning hunter, saying, look, and it's legit, it'll give you real answers. But it's a matter of time before he closed that door too.
We see it because people think that AI is just this shit was a weapon. That game Metal Gear Solid tell you that AI was originally a weapon. They're gonna use that for boxing people in. Pretty much they got the voice, you get a spam call, you answer the phone, and just silence it 5 to 10 seconds. They get in your voice. They can use that to try to, like for example, you had a woman on TikTok. Pretty much, she was saying how they created a video of her critiquing somebody else's content, but she never made the video before. It's like the Jake that Homeland Security lied on, said that he called out ICE, and that video came out months ago, and he was talking about Iran. So they're going to be able to use AI to pretty much persecute Jake. That's beginning already.
Hey, the Spanish Inquisition is coming back in a big way. Negroes like here over there in America will find out the law that he's going to be up.
Listen to Solomon 2, and verse 14 it says, he was made to reprove our thoughts. He is grievous unto us even to behold, for his life is not like other men. His ways are of another fashion. We are esteemed as counterfeits. He abstaineth from our ways and from filthiness. He pronounceth the end of the just is blessed. and making this boast that God is his father. And that's why the prophets were set in place to go and to reprove the iniquity and the secret counsel of the wicked. Because without the prophets, the world would be driven into a complete state of chaos.
We see that now.
Oh yeah.
Habakkuk 1:4 tells us that. Habakkuk chapter 1 verse 4. It says, therefore the law is slack, that judgment doeth never go forth, for the wicked doeth compass about the righteous, therefore wrong judgment proceedeth. And because the true judges of the earth, which are the Israelites, and the Pharisees, there's no true righteousness going on there. There's no truth there. This is why it's lies and everything, man. And when you come into the truth, the scriptures talk about be not ignorant of anything small or great. Proverbs 5:15. So when you begin to look into things that you never really thought about, and you find out that shit go back to some wicked shit, and that's just going to show you the levels of fucked up we are in society, man. You know, Jake, things that you like to say, you might not even think about, like niggas like knock on wood. That shit go back to be in check. You know, certain things that you say, the English language is witchcraft, right? Curse yourself every day from Moses to wake up in the morning. You know, so it's a mind fuck all the way down to the bottom.
Me and bro was talking before the camera cut on, and basically like this, how listening to this Martin Luther King, I was going into like controversy behind why his album was Here Deal was made, basically a whole book order. But the gist is, from a child up, Jake is taught to quell down their spirit, to appease everybody else. You gotta quell down your spirit and conform to everything else in order to be accepted in the society. Yeah, you gotta sing us a song of Zion. You gotta truck, you gotta job, you gotta use your talent and willingly be exploited in order for you to be appreciated, semi-appreciated. That's the wickedness that we were taught in this world. Israelite man is only a utility. Jake grew up their whole life just thinking that they're supposed to pay bills for some wench and her kids. That's madness. Jake think his whole life, he worked his whole life for 30, 40 years just to leave all his inheritance to a woman that's going to get married again.
They don't appreciate you just for your talent. They got to have dirt on it.
They got to.
Yeah, get this bag, bend over.
That video that used to go around and put the page down on top of the tape. And y'all see that? Oh yeah. You say you wake up with one sock on another. You want to sign the contract? I told you nigga was crazy.
Man, he said, you don't want that shit, huh? You gonna say anything. That's the wickedness of this world, man. And Jake don't know how deep the rabbit hole goes. Because all of this is meant to keep Jake confined and conformed. And it shows you how strong we are as a nation of people if we decide to go this far. The units, to keep us contained. He ain't putting this kind of effort in the Edomites and East Indians. He ain't putting as much effort in them. I'll show you who's the strongest nation on the planet. The elder showed, the younger showed the stronger than the older. I showed that he has a good little river. Yeah, the children of Israel, he scared of Israel like a strong, lively nation. We just went off. And that's why the Lord said we're going to be like lions among sheep when we return to all that shit.
Ecclesiastes 30, 22. The gladness of the heart is the life of a man, and the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days.
And he said the gladness of the heart is the life of man. And we experience a level of peace of mind and joy that money can't buy. Right. That's why Yahushua said, my peace I give unto you, not as the world. Because what can the world give you concerning peace? They may give you a bag, but then the word starts upkeeping. They may give you a vacation, but you can only stay there so long. It can only seem new to you for so long. Everything here is a honeybee. Yeah, it goes and you get used to it, and now it's just regular. When a peace of Yahushua, there is no regular to it. As the world is changing, you're still being able to be grounded, whether you have a little bit or a lot. You go through all these types of ups and downs. Your peace is never diminished in that process, and that's what the Lord has been teaching us through our trials and tribulations. But look, stay grounded. It's gonna happen. It's gonna go up and down, but you believe me, right? All right, then let's go.
Ecclesiastes 30 and 23. Love thine own soul and comfort thy heart. Remove sorrow far from thee. Sorrow hath killed many, and there is no profit therein.
Yeah, so you can't have that. There is no reason to really have a Lord's Day spirit. When you zoom out, our forefathers waited lifetimes to get there. Imagine Daniel first getting that vision. Like, you at the top of this shit. You gotta, the Lord told me, look, you gotta sleep with your father. You gotta die. You gotta be born into the latter days. But we ain't there yet. We're here.
Hey, that's what the Lord told Daniel. He said, shut the book and seal it to the end. And you got to come back and finish your life at the end of the day.
Hey, that made him sick. That vision made him sick to his stomach. He was like, damn, because he realized, he had to realize, damn, I'm not the hell.
Yeah. And not understanding it either. But he didn't understand it.
That made it like, Edris, it made him sick. He like, oh, God.
See, the Lord is telling us, look, sorrow don't do nothing for you. Now, there's a godly sorrow, but the sorrow or the depression of living in this world, that should not be a part of your walk as much as it was in the past. Right. Because whenever that happens, you should be able to have that money, that spiritual money in your bank account, and be like, oh, the Lord got me. It hurt right now, but the Lord got me. That's when you can pull into your spiritual bank account and remember, oh, yeah, the Lord got me through that before, man. This shit hurt right now. All right, cool, but the Lord got me through.
Hey, you know what it is? Hey, in give me 2 Ezra 14, right? Because all it is man-made problems. I was just thinking about this shit today. Everything that we go through is fucking man-made problems. That's why I tell you in the Lord's Prayer, it said forgive our debtors, right? As we forgive our debt. Who the fuck is the debtors? We don't own shit. The Lord like, hey, just increase your patience. Pray to me to increase your patience. Because all we're going through is fucking man-made problems. Right. That shit don't got nothing to do with the Lord looking at.
Right. It's a weak nature.
It's the weak nature.
That's why it's described as weak nature, because you're the son of God. Right. How is the son of God getting caught up in the same worries as regular men?
Right.
So that woes me go back to that depression. So when you're depressed, your eyes are the prize. You focus on the
flesh take over.
Man-made problem. You know, but the man wearing the account balance that not only tap into that bank account, but also focus on the grace.
Right.
The Lord still, you wake up every day still knowing the Lord's name. Still know the understanding of the scripture. You on a higher level than the majority of people in this world. That's why are you soft?
That's why, man, I've been all day today. I'm like, man, these fucking man-made problems look like this bitch tripping.
So mess your whole day up for nothing, man.
For nothing, bro.
Scripture tells you to find out yourself a good day, man. Every day is a beautiful testimony of what the Lord has done for you, man. You got all day is day for you. Right.
Hey, like I told us a while back, every day is a good day, man. It's a good day. I be telling them niggas at the plantation, man. They don't know why it's a good day, but it's a good day for me. Because I woke up with the name of the Lord and I understand prophecy.
It's true. It's about seeing bad, man.
Hey, that's why I say every day is a good day. Yeah. Every day is a good day. Because we are the children of the Lord. We will be a part of that. And that means when you, like the point you made, keep your eye on the prize. When you know that part, you don't hyper-focus on Jacob's trouble. You remember the prize at the end, the salvation, the rest. You're like, oh yeah, this is how close we're closer than ever to seeing Yahushua.
Look at the counterbalance. Because at one point, when Babylon was at its peak, everything was getting ready to be an Edomite. Being white was in. You know, leave it to Fever, and all that other bullshit.
Give me Proverbs 21.
But now, look at it. It's the same to be an Edomite.
Yeah.
And to the point to where they're having to lean into that narrative of everything we're just saying about them. These niggas are racist. They like that documentary, but the brutes, what's the name of it?
Oh yeah,
exterminate all the brutes. Like they have to lean into all the things that we're saying because they have no way out of it. Right. And that's why you see these Christians talk about y'all should be thankful y'all went in slavery. We did something for y'all, for one us. Y'all been here for grass hut. Not realizing that No, we're Israelites. So we had palaces even in the wilderness. Man. What you talking about, man?
We taught you what you know.
Exactly.
Proverbs 20:21. An inheritance may be gotten hastily at the beginning.
This is how the sucker white man got the kingdom. We got it hastily. This is what Alexander the Greek, right? One more time, huh?
Proverbs 20:21. An inheritance may be gotten hastily at the beginning.
An inheritance is the land. And Alexander the Greek conquered all the known world. Hastily, in the beginning, go ahead.
But the end thereof shall not be blessed.
But the end of it, hey, now we see the end of the so-called white man's kingdom. It's not blessed, it's cursed, man.
And show you that, like I said in Isaiah 47, he didn't consider the latter end.
That's it.
So everything that he's doing now is trying to save faith. And he can't. He can't.
The history is the history. You ate people. You did too much.
Way too much.
You did too much to hop in 2025 with an excuse for that shit.
Right. And so now they have no choice but to lean into it.
Exactly.
That's why it's
Take the mask off.
That's it. And the mask is off.
Take the mask off.
Trump is showing you his true colors. That orange one, you know, the red. That red man is beginning to see himself as that devil. They're not hiding no more, man. It's only Jake that still thinks that he's playing a role. Like this nigga still got love for him. You can't see that by this point. He's gonna get mowed down, man.
You know what I'm saying? My people are flock led to the slaughter.
Exactly.
When a flock is led to the slaughter, they don't know they walking to die. They think it's, they get there and then it's, you know. Proverbs 28 and 16 in the NLT. A ruler with no understanding will oppress his people, but one who hates corruption will have a long life. And the ruler that we have, which is the so-called white man, is a man of no understanding. You know, the reason when you look at the world at large, the reason there's no wisdom in it is because Jacob was separated from their heritage. Wisdom is a part of our heritage. Now, as we wake back up to the spirit, wisdom is starting to engulf the planet as we return to our heritage.
And Esau is showing you that he can't rule. This is why everything that he's doing is brought forth death in us. You know, like you said, we as a people, we make everything go well. You know, every invention that we see being used today, it was made in a righteous way when Esau perverted it. So, going from electricity, Nikola Tesla was, I believe, he was Jake. But, you know, he created energy to be used freely for everybody. Esau was like, nah, we can't have it. We can't make money off of it. Another thing, with these devils, they practice something called predatory capitalism. You know, where pretty much, if they see something that's not being occupied by them, that's money being wasted. So now they got to go and get that to themselves. They can make money off of it and oppress people. You know?
That's why they create the patent system.
Exactly.
And copyright as well. This is Proverbs 20 and 26. A wise king scattereth the wicked and bringeth the wheel over them. You don't see that here in America.
Hell no, the wicked is rewarded.
Right.
Hey, you know more about these criminals than you do at so-called, you know, wicked. You know?
Right. Why we got Nolan writing letters and buying all kinds of shit
I'm marrying them behind bars.
Right. Housing them when they get out. Why do they even get it?
Oh, Robbie said there's a video I just sent today with
Because this society doesn't uphold the law.
I'm trying to
Right.
there.
Simply put evil away from the money.
Right. So that's the problem. That's why nobody has fear. Because if the law was upheld like you just said, wickedness would be done away with. Because people will fear. That's what happens to me. That's why overseas, these damn women know they go from the Middle East over here, they can't go back.
Right.
You know, if they go back, they're going to die. They tell you that. You know? Because once you become Americanized, you're a poison to that society. So you got to stay over here, otherwise they can go off on it. That's for the men too.
That line, right? It got everybody drunk. And I was thinking about how I was watching this video with TikTok of this big documentary and he had children go trick or treating on Halloween, and in order to basically wise his son, trick his son into not, because he didn't want him to eat all that candy, get fried chicken and all that, which would be a good thing. But do that, you trick your son like, oh, a switch is going to come overnight. You know, your candy outside in the front door. In the morning, when you go down and read the wish, switch the candy with something you want. Went down the next morning, opened it up, and it got like a game or whatever. And it's like, growing up, you believe in the fucking tooth fairy, you believe in Santa Claus, you believe in this whole switch shit, you believe in Halloween, all this. Why don't you train your child in our ways, in our heritage? You see how impressionable young children are. Imagine if the children was being taught about our history, how much they would love to look up to our forefathers, Moses, Daniel, Yahushua. Bro, that would make a huge difference with our youth.
There it is, you got role models like Michael Jordan and all these people, not realizing the wicked shit they had to do to get them to that position. This nigga killed his father, man, to get them that championship, man. You know, these people they bend over, they kill people, sacrifice people, whatnot. But you're seeing them as glorified because you see what they have. And in society, the criminals, which are really the wicked people on the earth, they're looked at as gods. Okay, really, the Edomite is open. Because people look at Esau like they can still do no wrong, right? All this shit that comes out every year about the money that's being stolen, children that's being taken, just everything wicked they're doing, like the bombing, all this shit going on over in Israel, people still can't put small hats to popular hats.
So, because like I was going into, people esteem Esau because he seems like he's blessed. It's because they see what he has right now, and they can't perceive anything else. It's Ecclesiastes or Sirach 11 and verse 28. It says, "Judge none blessed before his death, for a man shall be known in his truth."
But you look at these people like they're winning in the front, like the brother read earlier about gaining that inheritance hastily. They got everything up front, but they never think about the back end. You don't think about the judgment that's about to befall these people. Notice all these celebrities all have the same downfall. They start getting into trouble with the law, and money starts getting hit, and they end up, bowing out disgracefully, or they die crazy horrible death.
That's sorrow that came from life.
Yeah. So you're one of the worst.
Ecclesiastes 41:6. The inheritance of sinners' children shall perish, and their posterity shall have a perpetual reproach.
What was that inheritance of the sinners' children? It's wicked kingdom. They inherited wickedness and lies, and all this is going to perish. So those baby boomers who thought that they was going to inherit all this wealth, all this land and resources, it was going to continue for generations. Now they're still alive, looking at all that resource, all those resources and wealth their parents being taken away. It's the strip.
They're weeping.
Right, they're weeping. Now their grandchildren don't have nothing. Because during that baby boomer age, a lot of these Edomites that have ranches and all this land, 40, 800 acres, all that was due to the baby boomer age. They got passed down too. They usurped that. Now, the coming of age is now their grandparents and their children, they can't inherit it.
Or if the ones that do got some wealth, they see that these generations is fucked. They be like, look, I'm not even gonna pass this on. I'm gonna just die with it. Yeah. So either way, that prosperity is fucked. Because they're not gonna have nothing in the end.
A lot of them are forced to sell their land so they can't afford the property.
All over everybody.
Because being a farmer is being made obsolete these days. The Lord is taking that whole trade away. And now those farmers nowadays, they can barely afford to upkeep that farm, to provide the bales of hay, to upkeep the chickens, to upkeep the cows. It's becoming too costly. So they're selling off bits and pieces of their land, and slowly that whole trade is being taken over by the gates of hell, man.
Proverbs 3 and 31. If he not the oppressor and choose under his ways. So at the end of the day, man, you shouldn't look at these people and how oppressive you might have relations. Because you don't know what the end befalls them. What you know them. Their end is going to be cursed. These people are going to die wicked death, horrible death.
How happeneth in Israel when thou art in thine enemy's land, that thou art waxen old in a strange country, that thou art defiled with the dead? Because as we're showing you from the prophecy, the spirit probably all about Esau got his riches by deceit, by bloodshed, by violence, by theft, right? So there's no, and you see it in our piece. This is their brother story. All the celebrities, all the Jakes that quote unquote made it, they're forced to come to terms with the fact that none of this was sustainable. Right? There was no sustainability behind this model of living. It was always corrupted. It was never meant to work.
Right. If I can add to that, because that video I was noticing earlier, the popular tape, they were showing you pretty much you to make the contracts. They never let you get all of that money, because you always hear about, you know, they didn't pay taxes or some type of legal issue pop up. But Esau will give you that money and then do something to take it back. And it was like, look, if you want that back and then some, we do another ritual. But most of the major artists in the music industry are living off a loan called an advance. So they'll give you an advance on the album that you didn't even make it. So you're supposed to utilize that for studio costs. But what happens is after Jake finished that and they go back and set the table, they start padding charges. Yeah, okay, you took game them. You took game them down to Hawaii, you don't remember? Right. Yeah, that game, you know? Then they start saying, nah. But you know what we can do? We can give people hours and we'll be another advance. Right. And by that time, you create a lifestyle where that check got to stay there for you to maintain it. So what does it do? You take the advance. And now you're so locked in, you think you're a millionaire on paper, $20 million on paper, but really it's a loan you get from the label, which is really high interest. You just lock you into a deal for life, and you screwed because you don't even own your life. No, you done. You don't own the master control. That's why you hear like Marshall Winston and Terrence Howard, they talk about like they don't even get money from like the Empire show. Terrence Howard, he wouldn't even get a check from Hustle Flow because his name is owned. You know, by that, so when the studio made the album up, they put everything in his character's name. His character is owned by the studio that produced that movie, so we don't even see the money from that. And the labels are equivalent to the patent system. Right. Jake's body is laid at the ground, and they get to exploit that. They own the passages, and they front you the immediate. And Jake don't even realize that that's what you. No matter what you turn, this type of system exists, and it's to make you return to the only way that there is, which is Yahweh Shema Shah. So if you refuse that, the only thing left is death. Going back to the marriage that we made. Let all these curses befall us if we don't keep this eye into the deal. So you either choose a life or you choose a death. That's why the Lord put the Spirit on Moses to say that. Choose this day. Because death you got fast and slow death, but it's death regardless.
Jakes that are reigning like kings without us. You're in perpetual debt. You're just in another tax bracket.
It's just a bigger check, but you still live a check to check. Future has said in the interview, he said, we billionaires, but still check to check. You're going to create a lifestyle you got to maintain. That's why they never home. You know, you got to tour. Being wealthy and being rich and wealthy are two different things. You got to be out of town 8 months out the year. That's not a wealthy man. You would say that's a rich man, but that's not a wealthy man. And Jake has been taught and ingrained to believe that being a high-paid servant is equivalent to wealth, and it's not.
That thou art counted with them that go down into the grave. Rule 3 and 12. Thou hast forsaken the fountain of wisdom, for if thou hast walked in the way of God, thou shouldst have dwelled forever. Learn where is wisdom, where is strength, where is understanding, that thou mayest know also where is length of days and life, where is the light of the eyes and peace, and wisdom is that light that never goeth out.
And also what brings to the length of days is fear the Lord. You know, because that's going to keep you on the path to everlasting life. That's the problem. Because if you don't fear the Lord, you have no parameters that keep you from throwing your integrity out there. It's this, whatever. My brother was telling me in the car, he said, this was, get a ride home. She gave us the box, right? She said, ride home. So for that, if you're willing to do that for something that's simple, how much more for the shit that actually goes around the world? Yeah, the value of boxing.
And just in Venezuela, a couple of years ago, Venezuela, the women were bartering cars for food. Literally, when their economy crashed, they were bartering their assets for food and for business. And it's going back to that bartering system. But it's going to go to a more harsher form of that bartering system in these countries. Because they're not going to give you no leave, they're going to take it. Yeah. They're going to negotiate the 40. The 40, what's the 40? Right. The power in their hands, like I said in second episode. They're going to take it. Because a lot of these women have been afforded the luxury to live in an alternate reality. Yeah. They live through a reality of social media where they get all this approval. They get all these likes and comments. So they think that they're something that they're not. And then you have a lot of these older women who have went to college, got these degrees, and are teaching these younger women that you don't need a man, you don't need any type of man other than a utility. So when the fact of the matter comes out, because when societies crash, it goes back to the natural order. It resets. The natural order is going to come back in a very easy way.
How's that going to be shown? Because as we've seen, it started with black women. Men don't want the black women. Black woman is the least desired woman on the planet. Every nation of women, nobody wants to teach her. And it's not hard to do why. You know, she's shown all these years how she wanted a man, fuck these niggas, ain't nothing but a booty date, and check it, dick, you know? That's it. So when it comes down to it, if you actually need a man, you're going to see that, hey, go follow your own. You know? Men ain't going to want to put up with that time, man. It's either you gonna get mine or you gonna get left out here looking like that little fool before his devil got there and come and get off.
I got Isaiah 32:2. And a man shall be as an hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great drought in a weary land. And that's a man of the Lord.
That a man of wisdom is going to be the most valuable thing in that time. You know, I was going to get lesson the other day talking about that, about how Corey Holcomb had that video, he was talking about the day the shining of Babylon is over with. Babylon's going bankrupt. So here it is, niggas start the value came from being iced out, being, you know, fly and shit. Nobody is going to care about that. You can look at something. The spirit is what's going to make you the most valuable thing in the planet. So women are going to be looking for a nice Lord for stability in that time, because that's the only way to live.
And the taker is going to be very different. Because even now you have a lot of women that only date for survival. Yeah. They'll never tell you that. But they're dating for survival. That's why you have to be very discerning when you're dealing with women, because a lot of times it's an opportunity or angle. If they don't genuinely like you, and if they genuinely not like you, you'll know. But in these days that we're coming into, as the lifestyle starts to diminish, we're going to have a lot of women out here dating for survival. She's going to act like she likes you, and if you're slow enough to take the bait, then it's on you. That's what's going to happen, and eventually it's going to transition into straight prostitution. Yeah, it's the transition.
And that's why the emphasis on Isaiah 4:1 has been clarified through the Spirit of God, Yahweh outside. You know, brothers are coming on a pure level spiritually and understanding what Isaiah 4:1 really means. Because when you're in that time and in that time period, taking on all kind of women ain't gonna be
why? Because she look good. Nobody care about that at that point. Hey, being a beautiful woman in a time of trouble like that is gonna be a success. Because hey, the better you are, man, the more successful you are to get taken.
And you bring nothing to the table.
Exactly.
You have no roots, you can't soul, you can't clean the fish. It's like at that point, it's like when you're looking at being a rational individual in the spirit, you're like, this ain't even worth the trouble. And Jacob's already coming to that conclusion.
Yes, that's the big
thing. It's not even worth the trouble. Why would I support you? And you bring nothing about it. Outside of how you live.
Last night, you can't make business on it. You can't make bread.
You can't boil water.
Hey, your ass don't know how to bake. You're going to be in trouble.
Like what was saying, from that time, it's going to go back to the form of humanity. Strong. Hey, well, strength, you know, certain skills here and there, they can only get you so far. The real wisdom and integrity. You know, these women that are a part of Isaiah 41, these are going to be women of the elect. That need to be delivered. It's not about that she really like me, it's how does she look, and nobody gives a, no one's going to give a damn about that. Right?
Because the spirit, your beauty is your spirit, man. You can be ugly than a motherfucker. And your spirit is beautiful.
It actually makes a woman more attractive.
It does.
In those
Very
days,
feminine and a beauty spirit. It makes her even more attractive than a stubborn, disagreeable 7, 8, 9, or 10.
These women, they're not going to be able to take it.
Brother gonna have
right, in those days, that naturalness, we already see it. Okay?
It has to add to that, she has to have some stuff about it too. Tell you what Timothy, woman that lives in pleasure, she there while she lives. We looked at it on TV. It literally says, take it real quick. That verse.
Brother gonna have 5, 6 booger wolves with him. So the spirit's gonna be 10, man.
Be willing and
That's beautiful though. The woman, the beautiful problem is that it's not true to tell you that. Desire that woman for beauty, and desire her not for pleasure.
And they say that many men have made themselves servants for women's sake. And that's a lot of those things that you want to put a 9 or a dime in a cage, and then you became a servant.
Yeah.
And you just call it a provider to make yourself feel better. Because when they talk about you looking for a provider, they're really looking for a servant / utility. They don't. A provider isn't just what he can give you. It's also the mentality. If you're not willing to be led, you're not looking for a provider. You're looking for a servant.
This is 1 Timothy 5 and 6 in the NLT. It says, "But the widow who lives only for pleasure is spiritually dead even while she lives."
She gotta have something up there, bro. The times are just wanting a woman just for the box, bro. That shit does. You gotta add something else to the table. You know, and that's supposed to show you. Like you said, a lot of these women, they don't desire men for what men are supposed to be for. It's just to pay my bills, give me some dick whenever I want. You know, to take me shopping. You know, give me some food. It's all about providing them so they can keep that parent that soft life.
And then you become the servant.
Right.
And then she ration out bucks to you if you don't go come on. Right. And then she tell you can't have another woman, but she gonna ration out stop it.
And it's going to show you that they're getting brought back to that mentality because as you're seeing more and more women are into that mind frame of, look, I don't care if I have a shit. I just want somebody that's going to take care of me. And they even tell ones that say that it's a genuine want to be taken care of because they see that what's going on and they fear.
Hey, but that goes into survival.
Right.
I saw a clip of a chick that said on the internet, he was like, don't date a chick that's in survival mode. She can't give you nothing genuine out of survival mode. All the opportunities because she's trying to survive. She's a sucker. You think she like to do it for you, and you don't even realize she Denzel Washington. She's playing that role. She Denzel Washington action, playing that role to survive.
I do got a research though. This is Montserrat chapter 7 and verse 26 because we're going to essentially talking about like light women. But this is Montserrat 7 and 26. It says, "Hast thou a wife after thy mind? Forsake her not. So give not thyself over to a light woman, which in a time of Jacob's trouble, Isaiah 4 and 1, brother's not going to be going after light women, the ones that essentially look good and have worldly status."
You got a bit for the BBL trying to throw your hair in the nose, bro. Any of these women that got these surgeries saying the Lord going to use their bodies as their partner. You won't get smashed with them, man.
We won't be going after anybody. They won't be sticking them in.
Yeah, the troops going to take their ass, man. That's literally going to be their job.
Who is the flat titties? All that shit
It's definite. Definition of light says containing less than the legal standard or usual weight, of little importance, says,
Because what did it start off with? You have a wife after your own heart. Right. And that's what you should consider more than how she looks. Right. Especially if you're going to actually marry her. You got to really consider the mind of the woman you live with. That's the mind that's going to raise your children. Right. If she's not in agreement with you, if you can't lead her nowhere now, the kids ain't going to make her snap in the obedient, submissive mode or nothing like that. Yeah. You know, that's why you got to be wise and diligent.
You gotta, if she's going with the program, man, you know, then that's all that matters. Look, the scripture say beauty is clean, man. It's vain. You know, but eventually she don't get older. You ain't gonna be as attracted to her. Plus, you only gonna see things doing what you gonna want something bigger and better, man. You know,
and that's what wisdom teaches you. Wisdom teaches you not to look at the outside appearance. Right. Wisdom teaches you to actually look at the mind of the woman that you're dealing with. Do not open yourself to a life woman to tell you. These days that we come into, a lot of survival dating is taking place. You got to be wise enough to say no, to check it at the door and not deal with it. They don't she get 2 chances now. We're in a time where she get 1 chance. You don't care how you do, you out of there. You miss your opportunity. She wouldn't treat a nigga like Chris Brown like that.
Oh, no, that's the point. Exactly. Hey, you only get 1 chance at that man, man. Blow that, that's your ass.
Revelation 3:10.
Hey, that old black or red. You going on red, you stupid. Right.
Red or black, that's
Revelation 3:10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast, which thou hast, that no man take thy crown.
Okay, so with that, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Kakadash.
Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who are the elders of Joshua Allah, and the sincere salutation to all you out who are preaching this word and believing this word, and to the Aquas who are believing this word in all truth and sincerity. Shalom. Shalom.
Hey, the Lord tuning in. Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh, blessing your house, and the blessing of election be upon your house. Hey, the water for your precept. We'll close out with first. Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Shalak, Rayam, Wa, Nashi, Wa, Bagi, Wa, Aragi, Wa, Masapati, How, the woman, Wa, the warrior, Wa, Yam, Bapasha, Yahweh, Hashem, Shai, Water, Shalom.